Hi, welcome back. So, the lecture is setting yourself up, and the first step is get educated about the business side of fashion. Keep yourself updated on the happenings in the fashion industry by regularly reading trade journals like Women's Wear Daily and Daily News Record. Many fashion design programs include courses in marketing. Some programs highlight marketing more than others. So, be sure to do ample research on the coursework involved in the program you choose. If you have already undertaken a course but missed the marketing side of things, consider doing short courses in these aspects of business. Learn beyond design. There is an entire supply chain involved in the fashion industry, and you need to understand what each person's job is so that you can see things from their perspective too. In order to make compromises, meet demands, and understand where things get held up, research what others do, such as buyer, merchandisers, pattern cutters, garment and fabric technologists, quality controllers, graders, sample machinists, salespeople, PR and marketing people, fashion journalists, retailers, event organizers, fashion stylists, and so forth. And guys, the one more important thing, know your customer. This skill is basic and essential, and it's one a fashion designer must never lose sight of. Know how much your customers spend, what their lifestyles are, where they like to shop, how they like to shop, and what they like and dislike. Know what are absolute needs and what are the things that only get bought when disposable incomes are less tight. If you have done marketing, you should have a solid understanding of how to work out customers' needs. Know your competitors. Always keep an eye on what other fashion designers in your area of interest are doing. At a minimum, keep up. Better still, surpass them while still meeting your customers' need. Trade fairs are an excellent place to develop deeper understanding of how the fashion industry works and what will work for you in terms of meeting customer needs and staying competitive. Well guys, let's move on to next step, that is look for fashion design jobs. There are various ways to find work in the fashion industry as a designer, and it depends on the type of designing you are interested in. In some cases, being versatile will help you a great deal, just so that you get the experience and then jump across to your real passion later. And in most cases, you will need to be persistent and apply to many different places to get your foot in the door. For starters, some places to apply to include existing fashion houses and designers. Look for internships, entry level paid positions, assistants to designers, etc. Custom positions with movie studios, theaters, custom stores, etc. Online advertisements through various online jobs agencies. Word of mouth. Use your college or fashion industry contacts to get you through the door in an industry that values what people who already are well positioned have to say. This is a good way to get started. And now the next step is, if running your own design business, be prepared to be financially astute. You may be exceptionally creative, but be absolutely certain that if you run your own fashion label, you need to be business savvy. You do need to understand those numbers and the invoices that keep piling up on your table. If you really hate this stuff, there are good options, such as asking your accountant to take care of all things financial, but it still pays to keep on top of the whole thing yourself. And if you really hate this side of it, look for work as a fashion designer with a fashion house instead of running your own label. There are many possibilities, including sole trader, partnership, incorporated company, etc. Each has distinct advantages and disadvantages that you should discuss with your legal and financial advisors before proceeding. Be sure that you are covered for liability in all circumstances, especially if you are in a particularly litigious culture. Alright guys, let's move to next step, that is be realistic. You may need to be willing to move to match your market, but that depends on how you work and sell. Being realistic means recognizing that it's pointless trying to sell a lot of haute couture to people who only want carrier clothing in semi-rural town, while it's no good trying to sell bikini to the lowest. You will need to focus on where your market is mostly like to be and either work out whether it's best for you to live and work in that same area, or how to get the distribution from your current area to the place where it's most likely to sell. Take into consideration the influences around you. As a creative person, part of your creative process is being around like people and sparking off their ideas and suggestions too. It's a lot harder to do this alone or working alongside people who are not into your fashion approaches. And you have to remember too that seasonality impact fashion designing and may have an impact on the type of clothing you are producing and where you wish to sell it. Consider the power of online selling, provided you use good quality three-dimensional images that can be zoomed and turned. Selling your fashion online to anywhere in the world is another realistic possibility nowadays. This allows you greater flexibility in where you will live and design and can reduce the daily commute to zero. This may be ideal if you plan on staying a small fashion label. Even then, however, you should still make allowances for traveling to major fashion shows. Living in a city with a thriving fashion industry makes good sense for many designers. According to the Global Language Monitor, the following cities were the top fashion capitals in descending order: London, New York, Barcelona, Paris, Mexico, Madrid, Rome, Sao Paulo, Milan, Los Angeles, Berlin, and Mumbai. Well, guys, I'm all done with this lecture. I hope you understand. See you in the next lecture.